Some delightful and wonderful person asked me in the comments for music and film recommendations, and I did a video a week or so ago of 10 films that inspire my fashion sense, and of course I recommend those. Of course I'll do a longer video of different film recommendations of mine, but today I would like to just go through a couple of rapid fire music recommendations that I have for you. Starting with some playlists that I've made. I'm an amateur playlist curator. I also do playlist curation for music discovery for commissions, which are open on Coffee Now. And I just wanted to talk about some playlists that I've done for free that are available on my Spotify now. One of which is the Bim Bazaar playlist. Now, Bim Bazaar is an aesthetic that I made up for my own amusement that combines bimbocore and weirdcore, and this playlist perfectly encapsulates the vibe of that aesthetic that I'm going for every time. Be warned, it is not safe for work. Very raunchy, bawdy, gaudy songs on that one. So listen to it in a safe space or with headphones, but it is utterly delightful and really gets me into the Bim Bazaar zone when I'm composing an outfit. Next, I made a playlist recently called Groovy Girls Heard Round the World, and this is a playlist of women artists from the 60s and 70s internationally. Some are lesser known Americans or French Canadians, but there are many from Mexico, Japan, Poland, Ethiopia, China, India, Russia, Estonia, Nigeria. I think any 60s or 70s inspired girly should know about and listen to. I'll probably do a more in-depth video about that later. It's just, I really like this one. It's so groovy and fun. There's disco, funk, afro-pop, Bollywood music, folk music. It's just really groovy and fun. Highly recommend. The next playlist I'd like to talk about is a little one I call House MD Soundtrack If It Didn't Suck. These are songs that I think should have been on the House MD soundtrack. I know some of them are anachronistic, you know, they weren't out in 2004 when the show was on, but I think they would have really added something to the show had they existed at the same time. Kiss Me Son of God by They Might Be Giants is on there, very appropriate. People by Barbra Streisand. People Who Need People, so spot on. And one of my favorites that I put on there is Sherlock Holmes by Sparks. If you don't know, House MD is like a Sherlock Holmes allegory or whatever, so I thought that was perfect. I love this playlist. If you're a fan of House MD, go check it out. It'll make you cry, it'll make you laugh. The last playlist I'll talk about is called Wretched Human Beings. I did a playlist series for October where I made a themed spooky playlist for every day in October. You know, number 1 was for fall, number 2 was for creepy songs, number 3 was for ghosts. Now, number 23 was for Wretched Human Beings. The villain isn't supernatural, he or she is just a really fucked up human. And it's one of my favorite ones I did. It's got People Are Strange by Tiny Tim. It's got Princess Andy by Petrovic Blasting Company. This Is a Man's World by The Residents. Tattooed Man by Coil. I mean, I really went ham with this playlist by, for, and about fucked up people. So I really love that one for when you're feeling a little wicked. As for artists I've really been into lately, I really enjoy Witch, which stands for We Intend to Cause Havoc. It's a Zamrock band or psychedelic rock band from Zambia. They are terrific. They have the best band name I've ever heard of, so I really love their music, and they just sound awesome. I also have been really enjoying Midnight Sister. It's a neo-disco band, really mournful, vintage-inspired, really mournful, groovy songs that I just am all about. I also am a huge psychedelic rock fan, so I really like listening to bands from the late 60s like St. John Green or Aphrodite's Child. They just have like that really trippy experimental sound that I love so much. I of course love Chibomato. They're a Japanese duo that started making music in Brooklyn when they emigrated to the United States, and it's a trip hop kind of vibe. Their songs are so funky and groovy and fun and weird. I mean, like, they just do it like nobody else. Like, I love Chibomato. For something completely different, I love Segwe Mariam Guebru. She's a Ethiopian nun that composed really beautiful, poignant, sad classical music in Ethiopia in the 20s, I believe. And her compositions are just so beautiful and interesting, and they just tug at your heartstrings. They're just like beautiful like nothing you've ever heard. So I love her for when I'm feeling really floaty and I just want to float away with her piano notes. I love her. And last but not least, my favorite artist of all time, ever in the history of the world, is Joanna Newsom. I'm a Joanna Newsom super fan. She's not on Spotify, so I have every single one of her CDs and vinyl, and I just listen to it when I want to pick me up. And I just listen to it when I want a pick-me-up. Listen to it when I want to feel happy, angry, sad, devastated, existential. I mean, she just takes me through the spectrum of human emotions, and I will forever love her for it. She's a harpist, she's a multi-instrumentalist, she writes these beautiful compositions, she has like an orchestral backup. I mean, no one does it like her. I love Joanna Newsom. She's my favorite of all time. If any of these recommendations seems intriguing to you, I could recommend you something personally based on a series of criteria you give me. I do music discovery oriented playlist commissions. If you go to the link below, you can take a look at the Ko-fi commissions that I have open right now. What you would do is write a really long, detailed list of things you're looking for in a playlist. I'll take that, work with it, and get a playlist to you by the end of the day or the end of the next day. 30 to 40 songs for 20 bucks. You really can't beat insanely specific recommendations given to you by a real person with know-how and imagination. Let me know if that sounds interesting to you. Feel free to ask me questions about it in the comments. I'm always happy to spitball, shoot around ideas, have a dialogue open about what you might want in a playlist. You can always browse my Spotify for the playlists I have on there for free. I have about 100 free playlists ready to listen on my Spotify. Well, I hope that answered your burning questions of what is Maud listening to. And until next time, bye!